I want to continue discussing the latest on the government shutdown from the perspective of the United States Senate. Joining me now to talk about this and more, Senator James Lankford of Oklahoma. He serves on several Senate committees, including the Finance Committee and the Select Committee on Intelligence. Senator Lankford, welcome back to Washington Watch. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well, Tony. Thanks for all your work.
Well, thank you. Let me ask you this. Does it look like there's an agreement coming to reopen the government this week?
We are inching our way closer to this. There's a group of Democrats that have now come forward and said that they want to be able to talk about how to be able to reopen the government and to try to get out of this. They put themselves into this box by their demand being a government shutdown, not a demand for anything else other than a shutdown. They've now prolonged it till they got past the elections in New York City. And then the hope now is that we can actually get the government open. They'll actually come to the table and just vote to reopen it. All we've looked for all along is just a straight, clean, keep the government open. We'll keep negotiating on other issues, but got to get the government open to do that.
Now, they continue to say that this is about health care, the rising cost of health care, and that in order to address that, we have to have these premium subsidies extensions.
Yeah, they continue to say that, but some say it's 1 year they want, some say they want it permanent, some say they want changes. They've not been able to agree what they're looking for. So it's been this odd situation where Republicans are saying, let's just open the government. This is what we're proposing. And you ask Democrats what they want, and it's all over the map what they want. For those that are wanting just an extension of the premium supports for Obamacare, everybody's got to remember, this is above and beyond the Obamacare supports. This is the Biden COVID bonus that they put in place that was above and beyond Obamacare. They intentionally designed it to go around Hyde protections so they could issue money to big insurance companies and still fund abortions, elective abortions. So there's absolutely no way we're going to support that. They also plussed it up for people, unlimited amounts. They gave no premiums to folks that are on the lower end. So you've got a ton of fraud that's built into the system. And in my home state of Oklahoma, the Obamacare exchanges, the cost for the consumer and for the actual plan itself has gone up 200%. In the same time, it's gone up 29% in the commercial market. So there's clear problems with not only fraud, but abuse in this. And Democrats are saying, just send more money to it, just send more money to it. And Republicans have said, absolutely not. We're not going to do that. And so that's the big focus right now. So for us, it's open the government. We'll tell you all the problems on this, but we're not going to have a protracted conversation about health care and about how bad Obamacare is that everyone knows, while government employees are not being paid, SNAP benefits are cutting off, and Head Start is closed.
I mean, Republicans have never voted for these subsidies. In fact, they've never voted for the underlying ACA, the Affordable Care Act. That was passed with simply Democratic votes. But it does not address, as you pointed out, the systemic problems in health care. But I think everybody wants to have a conversation about how do we get health care costs down. I mean, it's hurting everyone. But putting more money, more government money into a failed system doesn't do it. Right. I want to get your response to the president, his declaration. This is something many of us have been advocating for, yourself included. Nigeria as a country of particular concern. He put it, or his administration, in 2020, December of 2020, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo declared Nigeria as a country of particular concern. The Biden administration took it off. Now it's back on.
Yeah, it should be back on as well, to be able to keep the spotlight on an area where Christians in particular are being persecuted in that country simply because of their faith. We saw this same issue years ago in Sudan. We're now seeing this issue in Nigeria, and it's been there for a while. It doesn't get better by ignoring it. It gets better by shining a light on it and getting the global attention on it. The way you do that is the United States saying this is a country of particular concern due to religious liberty issues. So I'm proud of the Trump team for shining a light back on this and saying there's a problem. You're either going to fix it or we're going to help you fix it.
Long overdue. The most populous country in Africa and the most dangerous place for Christians anywhere in the world. Senator, I want to switch gears a little bit. Domestic issue. In fact, it's right there in your own house in the Senate. Talk about the filibuster, legislative filibuster. Yeah. The president is saying, get rid of that. But that could be extremely dangerous.
Yeah, I've been a big proponent to keep the filibuster, and I know the president is the president. He likes to be able to move on things at great speed, get those things done, check them off, and they're done. But I don't know who the president is 4 years from now and what that looks like. I do know what Joe Biden would have done if there was no filibuster rule 4 years ago. He would have added additional people in the Supreme Court and done a supermajority in the Supreme Court. He would have added Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C. as states to add 4 more Democrat senators and to be able to prevent Republicans from ever having a majority. He would have taken away right to work. He would have advanced abortion unchecked. All these things he would have done, but we stopped him from doing all of those things because we still had a filibuster rule or a cloture rule, depending on where you're coming from on it, that required 60 votes in the Senate to be able to move anything. So I know what Joe Biden would have done with this 4 years ago. I never, ever, ever want to see that happen in the United States in the future, whether that's 5 years from now or 10 years from now. The way to protect that is make sure both sides are always heard in the United States Senate.
Well, I think it's also important to note that over the last 100 years, 72 of those 100 years, the Democrats have had the majority in the United States Senate. So 72% of the time in the last 100 years, the Democrats have been in the majority. And as you've pointed out, they would have passed a lot of bad stuff. But it's also important to know that even if you could pass all the good stuff right now, it could be undone with a simple majority vote.
Yep, they could just unwind it immediately. There's something uniquely American about this rule of 60 in the Senate. It requires both sides to have to talk to each other to be able to work out our differences. It's been really important for our republic to be able to know there's never a time the minority voice is not heard. Now both sides have to be heard. Now, I have to say, when you're in the majority, it's really annoying. When you're in the minority, it's very reassuring. It's
a safety valve. It is a safety valve. All right, Senator, we're out of time, but always great to talk with you. Thanks so much for taking time to join us today.
You bet. Good to see you again, Tony.